Somebody better call Mona Scott Young right now, because this reality TV drama just turned into a real-life crime scene. Kirk Frost and Mendeecees in handcuffs. Oh, this isn't some staged reunion fight. This is actual jail time drama. How did we go from messy relationships and cheating scandals to straight-up mugshots? Was Yandy involved? Was Kendra the reason? Or did someone finally have enough of Kirk's non-stop nonsense? According to witnesses, security couldn't control the chaos. Furniture went flying, fists were thrown, and now Kirk and Mendeecees are in serious legal trouble. Did Yandy step in to help Mendeecees? Is Rashida standing by Kirk's side through all this? And where was young Jock in all this madness? Don't worry, you won't believe what really happened. We've got all the details, and even leaked footage. So sit back, hit that like button, and let's break down this insanity. Even though Kirk Frost and Mendeecees are big enough names to carry an entire season of love and hip-hop, this situation right here, they may have never been caught up in something this wild before. You mean to tell me these two grown men, fathers, businessmen, just got arrested for a brawl straight out of a WWE match? You know Yandy, Kendra, and young Jock were somewhere nearby, stirring the pot like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Let's not act like the instigators weren't in full effect. Before we get into the details of this wild takedown, let's be real. Drama isn't new to Mendeecees and Kirk. These two stay in controversy, whether it's financial fraud, cheating, scandals, or straight up mess. But this time, it's not just rumors. This is serious. The internet is on fire. The streets are talking. And even the police had to get involved. So what exactly happened that got them cuffed, booked, and facing real charges? Trust me, this is reality TV gone completely off the rails. Grab some popcorn. This is about to get crazy. It all started at a high-end nightclub in Atlanta. Because of course, it did. Kirk Frost, after spending over a decade proving he's the king of messy behavior, was spotted getting way too comfortable with a woman who was most definitely not Rashida. You'd think after all these years of public humiliation, he'd learn his lesson, but nope. There he was, laughing, drinking, whispering sweet nothings, like his whole marriage wasn't hanging by a thread. Kirk was out here wilding. Meanwhile, across the club, Mendeecees was already in a bad mood. Word is, he and Yandy had been arguing all day over something that went down on the Love and Hip Hop set. Apparently, Yandy was still bitter over that whole fake wedding stunt from years ago. Remember when Mendeecees let Yandy believe they were legally married, only for her to find out the paperwork was never filed? Yeah, she hasn't forgotten. And from the looks of it, she wasn't about to let him forget either. So there's Mendeecees, sitting in VIP, already irritated when he spots Kirk across the room. Not just Kirk, but Kirk all cozied up with another woman. Normally Mendeecees wouldn't care, but reality stars live for drama. The last thing he needed was for Yandy to find out he saw Kirk creeping and said nothing, especially since Yandy and Rashida are close. So what does Mendeecees do? He decides to confront Kirk right then and there because why not add fuel to the fire? According to witnesses, Mendeecees stormed over to Kirk's section and started going off. No warning, no build-up, just straight smoke. And Kirk, oh, he tried to brush it off like he always does. Come on, man, you know how it is, he told Mendeecees, as if that was supposed to smooth things over. But Mendeecees wasn't having it. He started yelling about how Kirk was embarrassing his family again, how Rashida didn't deserve this, and how he should be ashamed of himself. Instead of shutting it down, Kirk snapped back. Man, Worry about your own marriage before coming at me. Oh, that was not the right thing to say. If there's one thing about Mendeecees, he hates being reminded of his own mistakes. And Kirk? Yeah, he hit that nerve. Just like that, all hell broke loose. Security tried to step in as Mendeecees lunged at Kirk. Drinks went flying. People were screaming, but it was already too late. Chaos erupted, tables flipped, bottles shattered, and fists were thrown. It was like a full-on wrestling match in the middle of the club. Security struggled to break it up, but Kirk and Mendeecees were not letting go. By the time the police arrived, the damage was done. Officers rushed in, handcuffed both men, and escorted them out of the club, while cameras flashed and people recorded every second. Now Kirk and Mendeecees are facing some serious legal trouble, and the questions remain. Did Yandy step in to help Mendeecees? Is Rashida standing by Kirk's side through all this? And where was young Jock during the madness? You won't believe what's coming next. Stay tuned, because this drama is far from over. After that phone call, Kirk Frost had no choice but to rethink his entire life. As for Kendra, sources say young Jock was pulling strings behind the scenes to get her released as soon as possible. Let's be honest, if Kendra had to spend even one night in jail, Jock would probably wake up to divorce papers on the table by morning. Meanwhile, the internet couldn't get enough of the drama. Social media was flooded with reactions, with fans comparing mugshots side by side, reality stars chiming in, and even celebrities throwing their 2 cents in. One of the most embarrassing comments came from none other than 50 Cent, who took to Instagram and wrote, "Man, Love and Hip Hop got more arrests than the Super Bowl." And honestly, he wasn't wrong. But here's the real kicker. The judge handling their case wasn't about to let them off the hook easily. This wasn't just some petty nightclub argument. There were multiple eyewitnesses, plenty of video evidence, and, to make matters worse, it all happened at a high-end establishment where security cameras captured every second of the chaos. The moment the judge pressed play on that footage, the entire mood in the courtroom changed. The energy in the room shifted instantly. You could hear a pin drop. The judge leaned back, arms folded, shaking their head as the video played. "Oh, so this is what we're dealing with," the judge muttered, unimpressed. The footage showed it all. Kirk losing control, Mendeecees throwing punches, Kendra trying to swing at someone, while security desperately tried to hold her back. And finally, the police stepping in like they were breaking up a full-blown wrestling match. And if that wasn't enough, the audio picked up every word exchanged between them. "You don't want these problems, bro," Mendeecees warned. "You got me messed up, man. Watch yourself." Kirk snapped. "I know you did not just disrespect me like that," Kendra shouted. At this point, it wasn't just a simple fight. It was undeniable proof that they had all played a role in turning an upscale nightclub into a chaotic battleground. Once the video ended, the judge removed their glasses, exhaled sharply, and gave them a long, disappointed look. Then, in the most unimpressed tone imaginable, they said, "Let me get this straight. You 3 grown adults thought it was appropriate to turn an elite nightclub into a WWE SmackDown event. Kirk, Mendeecees, and Kendra sat there looking like kids who just got caught stealing candy." The judge wasted no time getting straight to the point. "Let's start with you, Mr. Harris," they said, turning to Mendeecees. "You, of all people, should know better. You've had previous legal troubles, and I thought you were on a path to redemption. But here you are, back in my courtroom. Over what?" "A nightclub fight," Mendeecees tried to explain. "Your Honor, it wasn't like that. I was just..." "Oh no, It was exactly like that, because I just watched it with my own eyes. The judge interrupted. Mendeecees shut his mouth. Then, the judge turned their attention to Kirk. Mr. Frost, they sighed. I almost feel embarrassed for you. You're a grown man, a husband, a businessman, and yet you're acting like some reckless teenager. Starting fights, getting caught in compromising situations. Have you learned nothing from your past? Mistakes? Let's not forget, this whole situation started because of you. Your poor decisions, your inability to stay faithful, and your complete lack of self-control. Kirk sat there with his head down, looking like he wanted to disappear into his chair. He had nothing to say, and at this point, there wasn't much he could argue. Then came Kendra's turn. And let's not forget, Kendra is a lawyer. She knows the law better than anyone. She's supposed to be the responsible one. So when the judge finally addressed her, you could tell she was feeling every bit of the disappointment. Ms. Robinson, the judge said slowly, staring her down, you are an officer of the court, someone who is supposed to uphold the law, not break it. Yet I just watched footage of you trying to attack someone. You let your emotions completely override your judgment. As a legal professional, do you understand how ridiculous that looks? Kendra swallowed hard, visibly shaken. She knew she had messed up, badly. After letting the weight of their words sink in, the judge finally announced their ruling. You are all facing multiple charges, they declared. Disorderly conduct, public intoxication, disturbing the peace, and resisting arrest. And Ms. Robinson, due to your attempt to physically assault another individual, you have an additional charge of attempted assault. That last part hit Kendra like a brick. She knew an assault charge could potentially ruin her legal career. Now, the biggest question was, who was going to bail them out? Rumor had it that Yandy wasn't in any rush to get Mendeecees out. In fact, sources claimed she was so furious that she wanted him to sit in jail for a while and think about his actions. Meanwhile, Kirk was banking on Rashida to come through for him. But after that phone call from jail, oh, he had another thing coming. Rashida reportedly didn't even let him finish his sentence before hanging up on him. And honestly, good for her. If Kirk hadn't learned his lesson by now, he never would. As for Kendra, young Jock knew he had to get her out fast. If she stayed behind bars even a second longer than necessary, their marriage would be on thin ice. And considering the way things were already looking, he couldn't afford to let things get worse. At the end of the day, this entire situation was a mess. What started as another night of drama ended with 3 people behind bars, social media dragging them to no end, and relationships hanging on by a thread. But if there's one thing we know about love and hip-hop stars, it doesn't take long before they find themselves caught up in even more drama. And something tells me this isn't the last time we'll be hearing about Kirk Frost, Mendeecees, and Kendra making headlines for all the wrong reasons.